What I have made of these Lamar Jackson reports is this. People would rather be upset by a lie than comforted by the truth. Let me show you how easy this is. Clearly, NFL owners are colluding. How in the world does Deshaun Watson get 5 teams interested in him, and he's not half the player Lamar Jackson is, but Lamar Jackson, a unanimous MVP, can't even get 1 team to show interest? Something's got to be going on. Something has got to be going on. I don't believe a word I just said. See, what is actually going on is that other teams don't want to do the Ravens' homework. We've all been in this situation before, middle school, high school. Somebody asks you to do their homework. You're like, I ain't doing your homework. You do your own homework. Why do I bring that up? Because everybody knows the Ravens are going to keep Lamar Jackson. But the Ravens, they want you, Atlanta Falcons. They want you, Miami Dolphins. They want you, Carolina Panthers. They want you, Indianapolis Colts, to do their homework. Hey, can y'all bid on Lamar Jackson for us? Can y'all give us a quick home appraisal, Lamar Jackson appraisal? Let us know what you think he's worth, and then we'll come in and match it. These owners aren't stupid. Not stupid enough, at least, to do the homework for the Baltimore Ravens. Talk about the nuance of the different situations. The Deshaun Watson situation, the Texans were trading him. You knew that was going to happen. The Falcons knew it, the Browns knew it, the Panthers knew it, the Saints knew it, the Colts knew it. But Lamar Jackson, he's not getting traded. Lamar Jackson, a team can negotiate, but the Ravens can match. In the last 30 years, only one time has a player been non-exclusively tagged and wound up on another team as the team who not exclusively tagged the player actually accepted the 2 trade first-round picks. So I don't actually think that there is something mysterious going on. I actually think everybody and their mama knows the Ravens are going to keep Lamar Jackson. They just want other teams to do the homework. And these other teams are smart enough to not do it. But, Joy, what do you make of this Lamar Jackson?
So you expect me to believe that the Raiders are a smart organization? I was with you until that. The Raiders are smart.
They're smart enough to know that.
The Commanders are smart.
To know that.
Who else we got in here? The Texans.
It's obvious.
Okay. The way they've done business over the years. The Colts. These teams don't have anyone to even offend if they were to go out there and try and pursue him. And maybe that's the case, but you have an opportunity to potentially get Lamar Jackson.
How real is that, though?
Well, it's real because Lamar Jackson is clearly not going to play for less money than he wants. So if you're willing to pay him, which is a franchise quarterback, which most people want to pay their franchise quarterbacks when they have the opportunity to get them, then that's entirely possible. Because this move is a very obvious statement by the Ravens that they don't want to pay him what Lamar is asking for, or otherwise the deal would already be done.
Agreed.
Or they wouldn't have put him on the non-exclusive tag. Now, I'm not a big conspiracy theorist, because I really don't think this is a conspiracy. I've been saying this for the past 7 months. I've been saying this since September when Lamar said he was not going to discuss his contract anymore. How many times have I said this? The owners were clearly upset with the Cleveland Browns when they gave Deshaun Watson this deal. It's not a secret. I didn't make it up. There were many reports coming out of the owners' meetings. They were upset with that deal. The owner of the Ravens said, I don't know that Watson should have been the first guy to get a fully guaranteed contract. To me, that's something that is groundbreaking, and it'll make negotiations harder with others. That is the owner of the team. There's not really a conspiracy here. I've said the reason I don't think that Lamar will get this money is not because I don't think he should ask for it, not because it's not the market, but because billionaires don't want to set the standard that we will pay our franchise quarterback over $200 million guaranteed moving forward. They don't want to do that because right now Deshaun Watson is an outlier, not just because of the contract. It's also because this contract was given to Deshaun Watson, as Steve Bisciotti, the owner of the Ravens, said, and because it's the Cleveland Browns, who are not known for doing business well. So if this was the Chiefs or the Niners or even like the Patriots, teams that we know aren't scandalous with money, don't make big, ridiculous reaches, the rest of the league might be on notice. Like, wait a minute, they just gave $230 million to a quarterback. That might be the standard now. But because it's the Browns, because it was Deshaun Watson, because it felt like a desperate move, and because the owners were clearly upset about that, it's not surprising to me that everyone isn't rushing to duplicate that deal.
I agree with you. Where you at, 2-5? Oh, you confused?
I'm sick.
Where you at, man?
I'm sick, though. Like, you have the chance to go out there and get you a franchise quarterback, MVP, a winning quarterback.
Yes, sir.
And all these terrible teams, all these losing teams with terrible quarterbacks don't want don't want Lamar Jackson? Like, that part with me is like puzzling because I truly think that at these owner meetings, right, I think they sat there and talked to each other. Listen, we don't want to make this the norm of paying quarterbacks 200 plus, guaranteed money. So you guys don't bid for him. Don't give him no contracts because it's hard for me to believe teams like this. The Panthers, they had Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, P.J. Walker, and they're a losing team. Yeah. Those are your quarterbacks, right? You go to the Bucs. Tom Brady's gone. He's not coming back. Blaine Gabbert, 13-35 as a career starter, and that's my boy, right? But I'm just saying what it is. You got Kyle Trask, who's a rookie. We don't know what he's like. They had a losing record last year. The Raiders.
Jared Stidham.
Stidham. Who else we got? We got the Falcons. He got a rookie. Like, they don't have no winning quarterbacks. You go to the Titans. You got Tannehill. We know who he is. They had Malik Willis. They drafted him. They didn't even want to throw the ball when he played, right? Josh Dobbs they got in the end of the year. Yep. So all these players. Let me go to the Commanders. I mean, do I even got to talk about them?
You don't.
So all these teams that have bad quarterback play, nobody wants Lamar Jackson. Nobody.
But here's my thing, Shady. Here's what upsets me and really frustrates me.
Something's up, man.
It's not that they don't want him. It's that they don't want to do what it takes to get him. And everybody can relate to this, which is why I'm fascinated by the confusion, not from you, my guy. I'm fascinated by the confusion nationally. We all want to lose weight, at least at some point in our life we did.
I am.
Trying to myself. You look good, though. But do you want to do what it takes to lose the weight? You feel me? Like, do you really want to have to wake up, eat a salad, go to sleep, eat chicken and rice? No. So, yes, these teams, I do feel you, 2-5, they want Lamar Jackson. But what would it take to get Lamar Jackson? Because Joy made a great point. I'm gonna make one more statement, then Slick, I'm very interested in what you have to say. Of all the teams that were interested in Deshaun Watson, only one team was interested in Deshaun Watson in the way in which Lamar Jackson wants interest. Lamar Jackson wants interest in the likes of a fully guaranteed $230 million deal. And only one team, the Cleveland Browns, was interested in Deshaun Watson that way. So who is the one team or two that could be interested in Lamar Jackson that way? The New York Jets. They're the team that's a quarterback away. They're the team that hasn't had a great quarterback that they've drafted in the last God knows how many years. They're the team that could be desperate enough to want Lamar Jackson in that manner. Problem, they want Aaron Rodgers in that manner. So there is a team that makes sense for Lamar Jackson, willing to pay and desperate enough, like the Cleveland Browns. You got to be willing to pay, but more importantly, you got to be desperate. There is a team. Only problem is the apple of their eye lies in Green Bay.
So we were off the show yesterday, but I took the show home with me from the first 2 days of the week because of some things that were said about Lamar Jackson that Shady said that I know ring true, but sort of went counter to my feelings about where we stood with Lamar Jackson. The first one being that the market sets the price, and the price always goes up, right? When somebody becomes available. And something you said, two things you said about owners not having any feelings or not caring about your feelings. And then the third was that Lamar Jackson is going to be a disruptor. And I just wonder whether we've hit this point because of some of the salaries that we've seen quarterbacks get. You're right. I think across the board, when it comes to positions, we're still going to see those numbers go up. But we're now hitting a point where the salaries for quarterbacks are so gargantuan, it hamstrings teams from being able to develop the rest of their rosters. And so you've got the Denver Broncos going and getting Russell Wilson. How did that work out? You had the Dallas Cowboys keeping Dak Prescott at top dollar. How did that work out? Like, you can go down the line with some of these contracts, and they're not necessarily paying off. So I wonder whether we're seeing a course correction, to Joy's point, like a market correction, in that we just can't go out and pay anything to get a quarterback. That number has to make sense. And so, look, the fact of the matter is, nobody has had to put up any money yet. The Baltimore Ravens are the only team that could have possibly signed him. So all of the innuendo that nobody's interested or nobody's going to go after Lamar Jackson, I'm now with you like, no, somebody is going to go after Lamar Jackson, but they have to make sure that if we go after him, that we can actually get him. Because if you go after him, if you make an offer and the Ravens say, thank you very much, to your point, thank you very much, you just got the price and now we have our quarterback. Well, now You've told your fan base, and you've told your quarterback's room, and you've told everyone, we need a quarterback. And if the price for getting one instead is going to be higher as a result.
Yeah, but you're a Raiders fan. You don't know that they need a quarterback. Fans aren't that dumb. Commanders fans know they need a quarterback. The Raiders fans know they need a quarterback. All these teams, Falcons, Bucks, everybody, nobody's under some illusion. I understand what you're saying. It'll feel like a loss. But, I mean, what is this, pride now? You don't have a quarterback. I don't care so much about the swinging and missing. What I do agree with you on, and this is why I've said this since the beginning of this Lamar Jackson situation when it comes to the owners, with any agreement, with any contract, with any company, you reach a point of diminished return when you're paying for too much for something. You do. Where I'm paying too much for one entity, everything has to work in this one entity. If this person gets hurt, if they're not available for any reason, if they don't play up to the standard they need to, everything else falls apart. I've talked about this for a long time. There is a percentage number. Now, it increases because the cap increases every single year, but there is a percentage number that perfectly aligns with how much you're paying your quarterback with whether or not you will win a Super Bowl.
Yep.
There is a number. It's a statistic. Since 2000, the only quarterbacks to make more than 15% of the cap and win the Super Bowl is Patrick Mahomes. The only quarterbacks to make 11% or more of the cap and win a Super Bowl are Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, and the Mannings.
Year 2000?
Year 2000. So it's 23 years. So essentially, that's why when you have a young quarterback that you know is great, you have to do everything that you can to win with them when they're on that deal. Now, Patrick Mahomes flies in the face of that because they got the deal done in an appropriate way. It's a long deal, which is why I always say pay your quarterbacks early. Well, the Ravens didn't do that. And now the market has been reset. Lamar Jackson, again, has every right to ask for this money. This money was paid to a quarterback that is not as good as him.
Yeah.
Whether it was a desperate situation or not is not Lamar Jackson's fault.
But your rights and reality, Joy, are two different things, wouldn't you say?
No. If I'm Lamar Jackson, this is what I'm doing. And even if the Ravens play this game with the non-exclusive tag and somebody comes in and they match it, there's no guarantee Lamar Jackson's going to play under that. Why? If I'm Lamar, I can sit out a year.
I'll just with the numbers real quick. And I know, I'm not always against numbers, but it's like, I heard that number about the quarterbacks and all that, but Patrick Mahomes has been to what? In the last 4 years, he's been to 3 Super Bowls?
Yeah.
So it's like, that counts for something. To win a Super Bowl, no matter how much money you getting, if you could help, get all these players, you could assemble this great roster, or you can't. To go to 4 years, go to 3 Super Bowls, that's hard to do. So I don't know if I really buy that.
What you mean?
Because you're saying that to get that certain amount of money, right? Yeah. That this percentage of teams players that don't go to Super Bowl.
Basically, if you're paying your quarterback a certain amount of money, you don't have enough money to put other talent around him.
So what I'm saying is I hear that, but then Patrick Mahomes was the last one. Yeah. But I mean, he's been to 3 Super Bowls though. So like, is that super accurate?
Meaning,
you know what I'm saying?
Meaning unless you're Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, he's the outlier.
I mean,
he's the one.
Bro, like, it's hard to win Super Bowls no matter who's the quarterback.
Yep.
If he's at $200 million or he's at $2 million.
But don't you think it's harder? For example, the 3 quarterbacks in the Final Four last year, rookie deals. Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy, Joe Burrow. Yep. So, like, I don't think that's
but if we would go with winners, right? If we would go to the winning quarterbacks, right? So the last one was
Mahomes.
And
Stafford.
So he's in there.
Yep.
Stafford, he made
less than
he made less than 11%.
Less than 11%.
Okay, so he got paid after that or before
he got paid last year. Remember, after they won.
So he got
Brady
paid
before.
Okay, and then Brady before.
Yeah, he was on a 2-year, $50 million deal, if I'm not mistaken. So he was making less.
I mean, I don't know. I heard that number, but for Patrick Mahomes to go to 3 Super Bowls in 4 years, making big money, to win it is hard as hell. True. But to go, that shows you it's possible.
But don't you think, though, because you played with Patrick Mahomes, you won a Super Bowl with Mahomes, so you know better than anybody watching now, is the Chiefs also offensively, they made it work with Kadarius Toney, with Sky Moore, rookie deal.
Well, I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
A lot of that's Patrick Mahomes, a lot of that's Andy Reid, right? And it's like, I mean, like Patrick Mahomes is a great player, right? But I mean, like, is he way, way better than a guy like Josh Allen? Is he way, way better than Lamar Jackson? Like, when you start breaking it down, he's better. Yeah. Hands down, he's better. But is he way better? I just feel like when I hear them numbers, it's like that lines with the ownership. Well, it's hard to pay a player like this because look at the stats. Where I'm saying on reverse, it's like, yo, Patrick Mahomes, he's a great player. He's one of a kind. But damn, to go to 3 Super Bowls in 4 years, like, that's hard as hell to do.
Where I would side with you, Shady, is these teams aren't making the playoffs.
Right.
Forget getting to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So if I'm a fan, why am I paying this money to go watch this team? I would much rather you pay $200 million to somebody who is a league MVP so I can go watch my team win 70%
But here's my
of the,
thought,
the
though,
regular
Joy.
season games.
Aren't you?
All these teams aren't trying to win Super Bowls. They're not even trying to make the playoffs.
But here's my issue with hearing that, though. Aren't you screwed if you do, screwed if you don't? Meaning, what did the Cleveland Browns do? The Cleveland Browns said, wait a second, if we can go to the playoffs with Baker Mayfield and win a playoff game with Baker Mayfield, well, we can pay Deshaun Watson $230 million, but then people ridicule that decision and say it's stupid to pay somebody $230 million.
That's the Cleveland Browns. If they make the playoffs, that's like making the Super Bowl. But that's my point about these other teams. Like, these are bad teams.
So you would advise
then it would be the same thing.
It would be, that's what I'm saying.
Making the playoff.
Okay, but listen, I'm saying you don't have a chance at all right now paying nobody. At least you have a chance if you pay somebody who we know wins at least 70%.
But what I'm saying is that's what the Browns did with Deshaun, and that decision has been ridiculed. So why would you praise the Raiders to do?
So wait, what do the owners care about? Let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
They care about their money.
No,
and they care
number
about,
one.
Even better.
Yeah, start
so
there.
they care about their money, right?
Yeah.
So having Lamar Jackson, you think you're going to make more money or less money?
I'll say more money.
You say more money. Okay, and the second thing we would say is what, Super Bowl?
Yep.
Do you wouldn't have a chance to win a Super Bowl with Lamar Jackson or without Lamar Jackson?
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.